mostly stayed together pretty well. Navigation continues to be not one of our stronger spots. We can hike on a trail just fine, but being able to give a location and a bearing and all that sort of thing, it's got to just come like this. We don't have time to think about it. It should be second nature. So we're going to be covering that in the basic academy that we do in November in great depth, and we'll continue to do that with other unit training exercises as well. I thought that the radio transmissions were pretty good when they went through. In terms of radio protocol, it was pretty good. Some of the packs out there were probably not what I would want to carry out there, so I'd encourage all of you to have a hydration pack. It just makes keeping hydrated far easier and more effective. I think that's probably about it.
And incidentally, both of the airships were in 30 meters of the beacon, right? So you guys are dead on the location. Although we had it at the command post, we didn't give it out because we wanted you guys to vector in on it using the Elbers.
And I did try on both Blue and ITAC to raise Duke just to see if we could have ground air communications, and none of it ever worked.
And incidentally, they couldn't detect the beacon even when we were on top of it. So that was interesting. Mike?
They probably wouldn't want to Wi-Fi.
Mike's 9 Kraus?
That's probably what it was. That's what it was. Because we were at the beginning. 30.
That's right. I think 30 minutes.
Guys did a great job as well as our guys. Their aircraft did find a signal, and they gave us the lap ball. It was a little confusing on that, but once we put that in, we kind of thought it was off, but it turned out to be pretty much dead on when we finally found the victim. So great job.
And then this was just one of 3 scenarios. Steve, you want to kind of give an update on the global picture? Steve was the incident commander for all 3 scenarios, the unified command commander.
Everyone did pretty well. Trying to manage 3 scenarios is a little interesting, especially radio communications. We had like 5 channels going at once, and I know our folks doing radio comm were pretty overwhelmed. Where's Dawn? Dawn Stone. Dawn's not right there.
Whoa.
How was it, Dawn?
Hectic. So Don was doing a lot of transcribing, and everybody else was doing radio. Jack Barth was doing radio communications. A lot of work trying to keep you guys all straight where you're at.
Just make sure when you're talking on the radio, very, very clear, concise communications. Helps us out a lot. But it worked out pretty well. Laguna Beach actually found their victim fairly soon. We needed to kind of have them hold back too, like you mentioned, and let the helicopter do some real work. You guys here did a great job finding who you were looking for. This isn't really a real life scenario per se. We kind of artificially created this, so in a real scenario like this, we would run it a little bit differently, but it gave us all a good chance to get out and practice. Plus, it's the first exercise we've done in, 3 months because of the fair and other stuff, so good to get out. We would do things a little bit different in a real scenario. Probably our incident command wouldn't be here. It'd actually be up at Loma Ridge. And we'd probably have a lot more people doing infrastructure work than we would than the 3 people who were here taking care of the entire incident command system. So other than that, it worked out pretty well.
And Greg did a fantastic job working with David and putting this together. We really appreciate that. It was a ton of work. You put together a great ops plan. You have a few comments?
I do. The most important one is the candy store is offering a 10% discount for anybody involved in this. So if you guys are hungry and you can't wait to drive down the hill, we've taken a little bit of their business away by taking up the parking spot. So if you wanted something to buy, something real simple over there, go ahead and patronize the store. The reason why we picked this area is because this is one of the worst areas of communications that I'm aware of. And so we expected that to be difficult. We wanted to see how the airship worked with the computer. We have areas of opportunity to improve on that. Our digipeater that we have there for APRS, we got that running, so we're happy about that. One of the only concerns that I have, and it's just about every call out we ever have, I see 2 search and rescue people huddling together, and I already know what they're doing. They're looking at their GPS going, how the you know. And dude, I mean, come on, you know, we've been doing this for how many years? You shouldn't come up to the CP and say, how do I set a waypoint? I mean, that is, you know, that's not a freaking word. Okay, so you need to make sure you got your batteries in your GPSs. You know how to switch between lat long and UTM. You know how to set a waypoint. You know how to call it in. This is stuff my 8-year-old does.
How many will admit to have forgotten to have set this as the CP on a waypoint on your GPS? I know several did not, because I asked in the field.
So, but the good news is it took us a little while to get the CP up and running. Our standard CP folks weren't here. They were all deployed in the field, and so we were able to adjust, and we were able to run it pretty smoothly after a little while. Lieutenant Fuzzer was here, and he was happy to see what was going on. The Rangers were here, and they were happy. We had some CERT guys from San Juan I invited, so they could watch our managed chaos, and hopefully they smiled half the time. So, I thought everybody did a good job on the whole, but we really got to work on our GPS.
So from an outside agency, how did we do?
You did fantastic. What I'm mainly impressed with is that you had fallback scenarios. I was a cop for 10 years, and so one of the things that we had whenever we would have incident command is that something would happen that would be unexpected. You guys seem to anticipate the unexpected. I know that there were some radio issues about blue to maroon to different colors, and you know, obviously different tactical frequencies and what have you, but you switched right on over. I was really excited when I saw that Civil Air Patrol had a repeater, 1,500, 2,000 feet in the air over your head. My God, what a great thing to have that going. So I don't know if you can be there every single time, you know, for a disaster like this up in the hills. It's absolutely fantastic. And then just from a personal standpoint, from the Joe average civilian, it's great to see all you guys out here working so hard doing this. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Does any of the team members have any observations or comments?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, one, I enjoyed working with all of you. It was great. I think if I'd had a better understanding of what the operations plan really was, because I did a lot of training, and the first thing I would have done is, you know, do some other things, but what he was saying is, well, our main priority here is using the helpers, and, you know, so that changed my thought on a lot, but I think we probably could have done a lot more training, but I know that you guys wanted to move through fairly fast, but I saw situations where, like I say, people couldn't read the compass and that, and you cannot take a bearing unless you know how to do that. And during Haiti, there were 18 rescuers that got lost in the mountains that they had to go out and search for. They did not know how to use map and compass. They all had GPSs. So I'd just like to say, make sure that you really know how to use the map and compass. And like I say, I think it went real well after I understood exactly what you wanted. But I do a lot of search training, and I wanted to start out and do it the way I normally would. But it was fine. It's great working with all of you. I appreciate it. And I guess I was too slow on my hiking, so you decided to pick me up and bring me back. But, I do a lot of hiking, but I'm not a fast hiker like some of you. And see, that's one thing I ask. I said, well, what is this? Is this a hasty search, or exactly what are we doing? So I think probably the briefing could have been a little bit better. I didn't have really a good knowledge of what we were looking for. I had a name and no idea how long he'd been missing, and maybe that was given out in, you know, paper briefing. I'm not sure. But anyway, great job. I appreciate the job that you guys do. And I do survival training. I do a lot of search and rescue training. I also teach the wilderness first aid and remote course, which is a certified course. So if anybody's interested, you can email me or talk to David. You get an email. But no, I really enjoyed working with you. Good group of people. Thank you.
David, any comments?
No, I think we enjoyed working with you guys. We want to do more flying and support you guys any way we can. It's always...
You can send the plane home now.
They're still doing orbits.
Yeah, I'll bet they're at lunch.
Yeah, no, anytime you guys want us to fly either equipment or search or anything for you guys, we love doing it. So.
And how about a round of applause for Greg and David for putting this whole thing together?
Good job, guys.
Lunchtime?
For the search and rescue guys, if you could help us break down the CP, that'd be great.
And then go have lunch.
There you are.
Are you buying?
Everybody make sure you sign out.
I heard the captain got a promotion at work, so it's probably.
Make sure you turn in your radio.
Well, we have a Southern California one, but it's broken.
Same one? Same type?
No, I don't know what it's.
On our TV then.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I'm going to ask Bob. 7027 Orange County CP.
Mine over in the car there.
Where is that?
Sign out sheet.